I think that hero has, well, I mean, it's 100% win rate that we've cast, correct?
Maybe.
I think
Maybe one loss.
The games that we've covered today, I'm fairly certain it has 100% win rate from what we've seen. It's just, I feel like it is so strong. The shard is really strong. The ulti is very hard to play around with. His facet in combination with his innate is very, very good. And it just seems like there's just so many heroes that can play frontline for him. And
even just the Ice Vortex, right? Like, part of the reason Puck was doing so much damage is because he's doing 25% more damage because of AA, you know?
Very scary time to be any hero when you have those combinations. So it looks like so far we are staying on the same track. Dirge this time around has been taken out from.
Come on, you can do it. Kalmychata, there you go.
Kalmychata. It's just every time I read it, my brain reads it differently.
You might want to get that checked at the doctors. By the way, for all the viewers watching, so pulling back the curtain a little bit, Liga team did get the choice of what they wanted, and they chose first pick. So they've got they're the ones that basically saying, right, what do we want to let through? What do we want to first pick? Shadow Shaman gone. AA picked up. Kunkka picked up. Okay, so kind of feels like not a bad AA pick for Kalmychata, surely.
Especially with
consider the rum and
showing what the Kunkka problems that he had against the Spirit Vessel, and showing how powerful the Ancient Apparition can be. So Liga feeling that Kunkka is a little bit stronger than what the Ancient Apparition is. I think you just have to send it. Like, you just see how
going
strong
1, 2, 3 as well.
Yeah,
always fun. I think it's in the top 10 contested heroes of the patch so far, so totally understand why. I'm just thinking any sort of Spirit Vessel builder is something that they have to be considering as well. This is fine. Not necessarily a vessel builder, but something that's going to do fine enough in the lane. And again, it does give them that flex that they're wanting. You have to imagine it's an AA ban, though, coming now for Kalmychata. I mean, they could leave it in if they just wanted to get it for themselves. They have the first pick after the ban phase. And they've got the last ban of the ban phase as well, so it kind of puts the onus on Liga team, if they don't want to play against it, to get rid of it right now.
Yeah, exactly. Forcing them to, I don't want to say waste a ban, but utilizing a ban on something along those lines. So I feel like this probably potentially could be floated by both of these two teams. Because I feel like Kalmychata is most likely just going to, I don't want to say go straight for Ancient Apparition if it's left in, but it's definitely got to be a thought, right? And just being able to have that Ancient Apparition pick into being able to cover it after the 1-2 punch from Liga. Definitely.
I mean, it's just an easy combination to land, right? You've got X marks. You're guaranteed going to land the Ice Blast as a result of it, you know? Puck just made it giga easy for them to do it basically every single time, especially pre-BKBs and post-level 25 on Puck. There's just no response to it. They're taking their time, though. Really just debating what do we let through.
What are some of the problem heroes that they've had to deal with? Do they feel concerned about this Mars anymore? I don't think so now with the Kunkka being picked up.
No, not really.
A few other Fortnite man heroes that he can go for.
He likes his Timbersaw. That could be an option. You could Doom as well. I think that's actually been banned out a couple of times against them. There we go. It just feels good overall, right? Like it's a way of having that negative AA. No, CK, okay. I guess that is one way to be able to beat an AA though, right? Is like have illusions and stuff. AA sucks at having to deal with those.
Yeah, that's true.
Also very vulnerable to just straight up dying. But I mean, against a Death Prophet, you can just stay way back from a lot of these team fights. And again, X marks. So, you know, you can Yules, you can do whatever you want. You're still going to get at least clipped by the Ice Blast as this DP. So I'd still be going AA if I'm Liga team. Yep.
Yeah, okay. It felt like it was such a a straightforward slam dunk for either of these two teams. I think, but much more so for Liga, just having that, as you said, just such easy setup for them. I think the one thing that
maybe this is bait though, right? Like they could just put DP5 now. Like you're using this AA to counter the DP, and they have played DP5, and then they just pick a 2 that they're much happier with. Like, I'm not going to say Lesh, just because, you know, some of the lifesteal that you're going to get is going to be counted out by the Ancient Apparition, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I was thinking also for Kalmychata as well, having this Chaos Knight, that if you eventually get to a point where it's a very good position 1 Chaos Knight game, AA hates that. Like, that's such a tough matchup for him, where Chaos Knight can literally just one tap him and there's nothing that AA can do. So, potentially it could be bait. Usually a lot of the times with those very obvious picks, there has to be a reason why you let a lot of this stuff through. So let's see what Kalmychata wants to go for here. This is going to be the Mars for Fortnite, man. I was thinking about whether or not they wanted to go along the lines of like a Centaur. Obviously, you do have problems with the Bramble Maze as well as the X marks the spot, so that could have been a reason why they went for something a little more straightforward. And just going to go back for the Mirage Shadow Fiend, and it looks like you are correct. This is a support Death Prophet, or potentially, support Death Prophet.
Yes, unless it's a 1 SF, but I doubt it. Like you're saying, you still have the small potential of this being a 1 CK. I'd say much more likely it is still going to be Polno's hero. So now what do you look to do against this? Like, do you go your own illusion heroes? Not really. I mean, the Terrorblade's already been banned out, and that's basically the only good-ish one these days. 1 Kunkka still very much in the equation. They need someone else that's going to be able to kind of frontline for themselves. Lina, okay. So I was thinking, like, if they had a frontliner, I was thinking maybe Sniper and just try and dominate the mid lane in that way. But I suppose if you're relying on right clicks, Mars kind of ruins that. Whereas Lina, you've got a lot of this AoE damage. You've got burst more specifically when, you know, going up against an SF, going up against a DP, even if it is a 5 DP, still pretty important. So I really don't hate this Lina. It's been flexed between 1 and 2, so you don't really know where Kunkka or Lina are going to be going.
Yeah. Which is good, considering for Liga team, they don't have the last overall pick. It allows them to have that flexibility to really be able to see where their draft needs to go.
I'm going to say something really unorthodox here, but I want to see a Night Stalker on Kalmychata. I think it's an amazing Night Stalker game right now. Like, just get on the back lines, ruin AA's life, and focus down Lina as well. I don't know how exactly it's going to fit. Like, could it be a 1 Night Stalker? Possibly, but I don't know. Just feel.
I mean, you could go mid Mars, position 1, SF.
It's Fortnite, man. He's not letting this mask go.
I am just saying there is potential. So,
I believe it.
I do agree with you. I think it is a fantastic Night Stalker game. There's a lot of these heroes that really just cannot play in a game with Night Stalker. So. See about whether or not Kalmychata wants to go down a really unorthodox route like that, or whether or not they're going to stick to their guns. So last time with this
for Kalmychata.
Yeah, I believe last time Kalmychata they picked the Sven was their final pick.
He's gone.
Was it?
TA's gone. TB's gone. Doom's gone.
Morphling?
He's not gone. And AA though. Slark, kind of a similar sort of thing. Not terrible Slark game.
I don't hate the Monkey King, but
I just want instant backline jump, basically.
Yeah.
Just give me my Night Stalker.
Is Spectre a dead hero?
No, not necessarily, but I'd be worried that Lina's not going to show herself, if that makes sense. Then again, Liga team don't really have a known frontliner, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Kunkka kind of is, but you can also just kind of ruin his life with Shadow Fiend and Chaos Knight and, you know, just spear him out of position, basically.
Alright, Let's see what this last ban is going to be here. Looks like they're trying to get rid of a Malik hero. Beastmaster, yeah. Yeah, that's fine. That's perfectly okay. Basically pretty much what you were just saying before. They just need that hero to be in the front line for them, kind of walk in towards the tower. How do we feel about Tide Hunter?
It's okay, but I feel like they've got enough magic damage to make his life a little bit more challenging. Like, you got to remember this CK is probably a position 4, so you're not really worried about countering him. So where is the actual damage that you're stopping with Anchor Smash? Basically nowhere. Is this the Necro game? Like, SF you're still worried about, but...
I feel like SF's going to worry most offlaners.
Yeah.
It's going to be Sting. Bad.
Ooh, okay. I see it. And they've got the shield for themselves, so you're not going to be able to stop that. No Doom. No one really buys Break at this point. So, not going to be able to stop the
Shadow Shaman.
Banned.
Banned, yeah.
I mean, you just have to kind of kite out Abaddon a lot of the time, or just get more aggressive than he wants you to be. Like, Lina and Abaddon need time to be able to come online.
Slark.
They do go Slark, okay.
Yeah, okay. That's... Yeah, I mean, the only problem he really has is having to be very wary of Lina plus AA combination. But
even Conquer.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, more so of him just getting bursted during Depth Shroud.
Yeah. It's more like the X marks, like you just can't get X marked, basically.
Yeah. So we'll see. Kalmychata, they obviously came in game number 1 looking nice and clean, very concise in the way that they were working through that game. Game 2 felt like they were kind of back in their own mojo, and then eventually it kind of, the wheels fell off the wagon. And I think for me, like, Liga really put themselves in a pretty commanding position, but they also had a wobbly spot in the middle part of that second map. So I don't really know where my allegiances lie. Yesterday I said not yesterday, last game, I said that I hated the support combination with the Dirge and the AA, and they switched it around into a pretty good support combination. So I feel like Liga's got some good ideas about how they want to play with the AA.
Sure. Yeah, no, I totally get it. I feel like, again, Kalmychata is going to have a pretty similar avenue to how they're going to want to take these team fights. They're going to dangle Fortnite Man or Ike or Slark, sorry, I forget his name, in the start of these fights, Rinsick. And sorry, I'm just seeing the 3 big Grandmaster badges show up over these people's heads as they start running out on the map. But the thing is, you're going up against a lot of burst in the form of Kunkka, Lina, AA Blast, hell, even the Bedlam coming through from the Dark Willow. So how well are they going to be actually able to be that dangle without risking their life is essentially what I'm saying here. And the other thing that we've seen as well is that from Rinsick, he's played the Sven twice, and he's only died 3, maybe 4 times across 2 games, and all of those times were in the previous game. I feel like he's going to need to play a little bit more selflessly, I guess is the right way to put it. Really put himself out there in danger a whole lot more, because this isn't going to be the sort of game where you can just 2-hit people, Like, he needs to actually put himself in harm's way a whole lot more, yeah.
Kind of soak up a lot more of it, soak up a lot more of the spell cast and not be the main character. Like, it definitely feels like this is much more, I don't want to say like a supporting cast role, but obviously Slark can take over a game and do kind of whatever he needs, but it feels like he's going to be in the front lines being a bit more of more so in the back lines potentially, and just being a nuisance and soaking up a lot more of that attention. And Mirage is kind of going to be the guy who's going to be like, okay, time for me to blink in and get a triple kill.
Yeah. Absolutely. I agree. All 3 cores are Grandmasters, so can't really ask for too much more. Ike's done his boys a nice little solid there.
I feel like a lot of these players have just played so much Dota that it's kind of impossible not to have all these Grandmaster heroes when you have, you know, in Fortnite Man's case, 20,000 matches of Dota.
How do you quickly see how many matches you have? Just on your profile, right?
I just checked him on Dota Buff.
How many do I have?
I think it was more so closer to like 18,000, but you know, 20,000 sounds way cooler than 18,000.
Wow, you lied to me.
I didn't lie, I stretched the truth.
I see.
I also could have said he had 35,000 matches. And
you could have, and I would have believed you.
Except for that one guy in Twitch chat that I definitely know would have looked up his Dota buff and be like, actually he has 17,655 matches.
I cracked the 10k mark recently.
I think... I don't remember how many I have. I think I'm just over 8.5k.
So what's your excuse then?
I've always been trash. That's my excuse.
There we go. That's what I wanted to hear.
I couldn't imagine what I would be like after a hiatus of playing World of Warcraft for 6 months.
You know the quote that people say where it's like, anyone can become an expert at something, just give 10,000 hours to it. I'm like, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? How has this happened?
Am I broken?
I mean, these people have clearly never played Dota in their life. Yeah. That's the other thing, like, I always took pride on being like, you know what, I'm at least half the MMR of the best players in the world. And now because of these freaking double down tokens, I'm like right on the edge. You know, these 16k players, I'm like, come on, man.
MMR's inflated, it should be a number between 1 and 10.
True.
Change my mind.
What number would you be?
Well, a 1. Very clearly.
You're better than 1, come on, give yourself some credit.
Alright, I'd be, I mean... in the grand scale, probably like a 4 or 5.
I'll give you a 4. Let's not get carried away.
The Matt classic, the dangle the little compliment, snatch it away right in the last second. That's how you know it's getting very late here, ladies and gentlemen. The delirium is starting to set in for a little.
Oh, for sure. Like it's been set in.
Don't worry, guys. We'll be back to our regular programming for tomorrow. Okay, we'll be back on normal hours
with plenty of normal sleep hours.
Definitely no sleep, but normal hours. All right, Fortnite man, and respect. Have a little fight here. Not much has happened. Middle lane's going relatively even, as we expected a lot between Mirage and Erase. They've been relatively even throughout the entirety of this. Triple Raise does have the schmango.
You're right. We are delirious. Oh, DP. Uh-oh.
He is definitely in trouble here. He does have a one
Raggy.
Fairy Fire Mirage. He's going to be... Oh, 6 HP. He's going to try and get the triple raise.
Oh, nice
attack.
try.
It's not going to be enough. That would have been an epic turnaround. But unfortunately for Mr. Mirage, didn't have the HP Ponlo.
We've got a pro game of
Oh, nice little south cancel there from Ponlo. Looking to try and get the Chaos Bolt as well. Another auto attack. Gets it. So that's a decent amount of experience going Ponlo's way. Right.
Oh, that's it.
Reality Rift. How much longer until he has another Chaos Bolt? They're going to see if they can get these auto attacks going up into the hill. Ike gets the kill. And now the Shadow Fiend gets a return as a race dies.
Very nice. Should be able to just spam out this wave, nuke down the wave, make sure the creeps are going. Never mind. AA yoinks away the water red. It's always a bit of a balancing act as to, do you want to shove the wave into the tower, or do you want to just keep it in a relatively safe space? But kind of gets the worst of both worlds, where like he delays it long enough so that the leader can get back and still get all the experience, and he's not even able to like go back to the jungle and pick up a little bit of farm for himself.
I think he got one deny, so that's probably not the worst. But I do agree with you. It's either, you don't push hard enough and you get that awkward scenario where she gets all of the creeps, or you push too hard and your wave's just nowhere near anyway that you can contest it. You've screwed yourself anyway, so...
Yeah. Still though,
my mid laners are better than I am.
Good kill to be getting this early on.
It was a nice trade, the Ponlo TP, to be able to come in and get that extra kill, and then I can be able to come across and get that kill onto a race as well. But seems like right now, both teams are more than happy to just try and sit back and have a little bit of a farm fest again. They've been very, very, I would say, not very, very passive, but relatively passive for the first couple of minutes over these last couple of games. Trying to protect this ward here up on the high ground is a race. Rise does just put down this sentry wall. We're going to have a little fight in the river. Respect as well as Morales are here to try and take down the Death Prophet.
Regen rune.
Okay, alright, see ya.
Just hit up onto level 6. So getting a little lucky there. Regen rune. Serve him quite well. A little surprised he didn't start channeling the Spirit Siphon, honestly. Could have easily got it onto the Willow before going into the Shadow Realm, but wasn't going to be the case. How are the side lanes going? Honestly, it's pretty even across the board, which is a very different story from what Kalmychata had to deal with in the first, 20-ish, let's say 15 minutes of that game. They were well behind in every single one of those lanes, but this time around they're doing okay.
Alec takes down Renzi in the bottom lane.
Didn't even need his boat to be able to do it.
Yeah, it looks like it was just a couple of Tidebringers. Just got him really low, and
Willow was there as well.
Of the Bramble Mains. Also, I don't think we really talked about it, but it is going to be a carrier Baden. It's a nice little transition here. So it kind of does lead me to believe that the Slark is a little bit of a better pick against the carrier Baden than it potentially could have been. I feel like it's pretty good against a lot of the cores.
Hey, he's in a little bit of danger. Never mind, boat.
Okay, yep.
Zuck, though, will probably keep him alive.
Let's take a lot of damage there. Music will try and see if he can get the response.
40 blocks.
Respect. Oh my god, that is a team combination there from Liga to be able to just keep him alive.
He just TP'd back as well, so the comms perhaps lacking. It's one of the downsides of having this SF, right? Like, if you're going to go back and take a bunch of these stacks for yourself, it means that you're not really communicating what's going on in that mid lane all that much. And allows Lina to be able to make that rotation. It was not even a haste rune or an invis or anything like that. It was a regen that she picked up previously, and she's going to get another power rune bottom, this time a shield rune, so much more capable of being left solo, and will continue to scale off the back of all of these nice stacks that have been built up by the Dark Willow.
Yeah, and this is kind of what happens when you have these kind of two side lanes that are both pretty happy with doing whatever, you know, in the 1v1s. Like, Malik is more than happy being in a 1v1. Abaddon and Mars in a 1v1, like, that's snooze central right there. So I can understand why both the supports just decided to dip on that lane. And this is just what happens. You start building stacks for a lot of these other cores, and both these two teams have, I don't want to say greedy cores, but they have cores that really want a lot of farm, and Pon Low, unfortunately, gets zapped into oblivion.
Oh, this Lina hero. It's just Neville loses a lane, basically, which is nuts to still be saying in this day and age, but it's true, you know, and we're seeing a lot more of it being played in that position 1 role as well. Obviously not today so far, but still just something so mindful that you need to be worried about. I've seen, I think it's when Satanic plays it, he just puts the 1 point in the Dragon Slave. It's literally just a Fiery Soul activator, and then, you know, beyond that, it's basically stats, maxing out the other 3 abilities.
See another fight that's going on here for Ike. He's just trying to deal with a lot of these stacks, but again, Liga is just off to such a red hot start here. This is kind of what happens out of all 3 of these games. It's been a super fast start coming up from the side of Liga, and then we get towards the mid game and have some nice little team fights from Kalmychata, and then they were able to bring the game back that way.
Here in Arena, nothing's going to be happening there.
Because it was the ultimate, what's it called? Borrowed time.
True.
Yeah,
Even just having the polywalk charm there inside the river means that Lina moves away a little bit more rapidly. Hold up, top side.
One-Night Man is in trouble. Makes it away. So he didn't get another death added to his name here, did Mr. Fortnite Man, but more than likely he's going to have to be very, very careful. Big Blade Mail comes out towards the bottom side and Rensick just gets deleted. 0 and 3 right now on the Slark. And for a guy who died 3 times collective over 2 matches, 0-3 start is not what you want to see for your Slark.
Definitely not, especially considering, again, last pick. So, you know, you knew exactly what you were picking this into. Maybe they thought it would be in Abaddon in the position 3 role, considering Kunkka did just do a very good job in the pos 1 in game 2. And you just feel a lot more confident in trying to brawl against that. But that'd be a pretty amateur mistake if that was the case, you know, and it really doesn't feel like he can do anything across the map until he picks up this Diffusal Blade. That needs to be his biggest priority, but he's just walking up kind of solo into the end. He might die.
Yeah, Rensick, he's going to get pulled back here into the boat. Malik does mistime it. So, I mean, ultimate for ultimate, I guess.
Yeah.
Get some stacks out of it, but not really much else.
Going to need something else, like as soon as this is up. Do we have any big timings coming soon? I think Yasha is coming through for the SF now. They really need to do a better job of securing these power runes for themselves. It's top. Onlo's going to grab it, and they're going to walk off into...
It's happening in the river, though. Mirage is getting oh so low. He needs to try and get himself away from all of this damage, but it is just a race who is just sitting up on the high ground. So there's the hatred here from Ponlo. Wants to see if they can get the fight going, but Lina just stares up onto the high ground. A race doesn't get the third one. It's Ike with the triple kill here for the Death Prophet. So level 8 at 12 minutes in for a pos 5 with 2,000 gold.
You take those?
2,000 gold.
I mean, he got the 3 kills, including that mega kill streak that Erase had at the time, so
that's
understandable. And a nice little
so
juicy
much gold
stack.
that he got.
So what does he get at this point, is what I want to know. Like, he just goes...
A full glimmer, that's what he thinks.
Sure. Take those.
Glimmer cape. So
Diffusal Blade
gives them a little
close
start.
to being picked up. Yeah, it does. Makes it much more capable of being able to sit back and fight. But the thing is, do you want to even try and go for a fight? He's still got 80 seconds on that Exorcism being on cooldown. He's going into a Solar Crest next. I like it. It's mostly going to be used on the Slug, considering it is, again, most likely going to be a Magic SF that's being played.
Oh, Fortnite Man getting soloed by Amorales. That was... It's always exciting watching a Dark Willow solo core, but then you realize you're like, oh, this is just Dark Willow's base kit, that she can just do this.
Yep.
And then you get
Not
depressed.
Right. It's not right, and it's not okay.
No.
So,
yeah, I don't think it should be happening. Support players should do 0 damage. All they should do is heal and ward. Change my mind. Alright. The fight's gonna happen. They use that Glimmer Cape there from Ike. See if they can walk towards the middle lane here, but Erase is more than fast enough to get away from that. So they're going to use a nice little boat torrent combination to see if they can take down Ponlo. A few more auto attacks. Oh, they stopped attacking. Oh, it doesn't matter because they got the Tidebringer, baby. Malik claims another. 5-14 here, Matt. That is not a good start.
not a good start, for sure. I want to see them making the most out of this Diffusal Blade, though. Like, they must just be waiting for the Exorcism, but it's up. It's off cooldown. I don't think you can afford to give up this tier 1 tower for free at this stage. Only 20 or so seconds until it turns into nighttime as well, so you'd have to say, if they're not hitting the go switch at that stage, something's up. You know, something's got to give in that sort of scenario. Especially considering he's also got the Sister Shroud on the Slark. And I know that that's not exactly going to be amazing against, like, Lina, for example, considering the majority of her damage is coming from right clicks, but still doesn't feel great. And the biggest issue for mine is that Yu has been basically uncontested, so he's going to have that Radiance by the 16th.
A big positive for mine. Oh, Rinsick. It's been ice blasted, so he won't die to the fracture at least, but getting close. Let's see if he can try and take down the ancient apparition. They will get the dust coming out here. Rinsick wants to see if he can take down Respect. He does not have the ice blast, so Rinsick will be able to get that perma agi stack. Feels good for the Slark. You have a blink dagger that's been built up here by Fortnite Man, so he's been able to get a relatively fast blink dagger. So this is potentially when things can start to kick off for them.
Just quickly shoving out that lane. Walks past a observer ward though on his way towards the bottom side, so you'd have to imagine, yeah, Lina doesn't want a bar of this. Just taking it back off and pick up, not run the risk of dying another time. The fact that Ike is, hold on, both being used on Mirage, that'd be a huge kill.
He's trying to get the Requiem off, but unfortunately for him, he's the one that is feared. And that is just a Shadow Fiend going down. They found some stacks as well. Malik will chomp through those, and Radiance is completed now for you. And it looks like Liga are just going to hit that 5-man button and just walk together down a few lanes, because at this point, I mean, I guess the only thing they really need to be afraid of is Blink and Arena.
Yeah, Blink Arena, and I mean Blink once the SF has it as well. Just that combo, right, that we've seen with Chaos Bolt level 4, the Cloven Chaos facet, and then just a quick Requiem on a couple of people. But it really just depends on people standing next to each other in the middle of these team fights, which I guess could happen with like a Kunkka plus a Dark Willow, considering, you know, Shadow Realm and all that sort of stuff. So you're probably still going to get hit by a Requiem. I don't know, it just doesn't feel... Hold on. Slark. Just get away. That time ended up saving him there.
And enough vision for the X-Mark.
So they really just don't want Lina to blow people up at this point. I know, crazy, right? But just multiple Glimmer Capes being purchased. Of course, Depth Shroud is going to be amazing eventually when you're able to pick it up. I think going for an Orchid as well is Rinsick, who should hopefully be okay.
Going in onto Malik, they've got the triple raise combination. It is a full pipe on the Kunkka though. Gets out with the Essence Ring as well. So much of this HP just gets brought back into him. And Respect wants to see if they can try and take the damage down onto Mirage. And it will be a race that finishes off the Shadow Fiend. So it's double kill for the SF, but how much are they going to lose in return? Looks like potentially it's just going to be Ike as well. Running away. The DP very fast. TP. Gets it. By the Terrorize. Not meant to Laguna Blade to finish it off.
They can still take this tier 1 tower for free though in the mid lane. A lot of extra attention being given over there. So not the worst. They get a favorable trade. They believe they did get the top tower as well. Yeah, Fortnite Man was able to clean that one up. He's level 13. Not too bad at all, considering the difference between like mid laners 17 versus 14 for this Lina. Race is having a pretty stellar couple of games.
Yeah, it really does feel like that, you know, game 1, a race still did put on a clinic in that mid lane and just wasn't able to really kind of get a stranglehold of the game, whereas game 2 definitely was all about him, and now it is looking like another one of those games. Full Mjolnir almost into a BKB. Okay, so it looks like Rinsick is able to get another permanent agi stack by taking down Respect, and fortunately for Respect, I think that potentially is going to be where Rinsick is going to be getting most of his permanent agi stacks this game, if I'm a betting man.
I mean, that's what you get for playing AA, to be honest, but, you know, it's got to have some kind of weakness. And, you know, no real escape mechanism is the one. Although he's close to getting a Ghost Scepter, so not too bad there. Not just basically everything that they've got except for the SF, who I believe has Blink Dagger coming out to him right now, so be pretty much perfect for them if you force someone to come in and defend this tower, but doesn't seem like they want to borrow it. They're just trying to push in this mid lane. And Rinsick to... the daytime, is that going to cause him some issues?
He's an Orchid now too, so a little bit of a combo breaker, but it is Ike who Gets the amplified damage rune, but unfortunately for him, it doesn't have that much survivability.
I didn't even try to use even just one Spirit Siphon on Conquer to try and... I guess he's got Blade Mail.
Twin Sick?
AA Blast.
I doubt you, but that AA Blast is going to do so much work. You already see with the Glimmer Cape is able to at least get him away from the bad juju. Oh, Rinsick just lived.
This is pretty free Roshan off the back of this, right? Like, they use the arena, they use the Shadow Dance. You've really pushed them back a fair amount. I'm sure Ike would love to be able to go in right now and try and contest this, but the amount of damage that you're able to output with all the farm that Abaddon's been able to get, you know, again, we really haven't been mentioning you a lot. He's 0, 0, and 1. That's why. You know, his only kill involvement has been off Radiance Burn, basically. So now that he's actually starting to get into a few of these nice items, it becomes a whole lot more challenging for you to have to contest up into this, because you were getting out damaged without this Abaddon, essentially.
I'm pretty sure Erase just walked up and Laguna bladed him.
Yep.
Thanks
And
for the supercharge, baby.
Yep. You got the Curse of Avernus as well for the tower, so not that Lina really needed any additional attack speed to be able to hit into towers, but it just makes it so much easier.
Able to chunk through it. You can see there is a few pushes that are going on here.
Okay, at least they're able to get one going back the other way. Even popping the exorcism for it.
They're trying to fight this. Race is here, sitting in the trees, but we do have Fortnite Man that's waiting in the wings as well. Who is able to get the flank here? What fight do they actually want to have? It looks like they've decided.
None.
Fall away from that one. I thought maybe Fortnite Man might try and come in from a side angle and see if they can get something done, but with the exorcism starting to peter out there for Ike, I understand why they wanted to say no.
Will this be a Tormentor that they give up, though, on the top side? It kind of feels like it. You know, you've already used Exorcism. You've got a level 18 Lina. Why not? Just nuke it down. Give AA free Culty Ice Blast. As, see you later, right?
No.
Just going to a good time ahead there.
Gravy for AA. Nope, Morales, but not the worst one. As mid lane, there's another Ice Blast coming in.
Yeah, you can just see where it's heading. And unfortunately for Mr. Fortnite Man, he's going to walk directly into it, and the Radiance Burn will finish him off. And again, it's just, this is the problem that they're having is, yes, the Slark can do a lot of work against the Abaddon, but you don't have any other ways of, you know, dealing with him and kiting him out and killing the rest of his team while he's sitting in that borrowed time, then kind of the point is useless, you know?
And they had plenty of chances to ban out the AA as well to make this not as big of an issue. You know, there's this global presence that you're able to have, this ability to just amp up so much of the damage that Lina is able to do. Really playing super deep here as Kalmychata, and he's going to pay for it. Kind of what he has to do though, right? Pop the Phantasm just to try and keep these lanes shoved in a little bit. They haven't yet taken that tier 2 tower top, but yeah, they could maybe make a play for it sometime soon. Abaddon is very deep. And he's very dead.
Okay.
Like, what's happening there? Ike, probably dead.
Yeah, it just feels like a lot of people are kind of walking into areas and just running into 4 of the enemy team. And unfortunately for Mr. Ike, that is a problem that he's going to run into quite a lot the rest of this game.
And he's been able to make a lot of good stuff happen, for sure. But it's just like, I think it's outweighed a fair amount by the amount of times where he's just kind of in a bit of an awkward position as just getting solo ulted up top is Fortnite Man. As, yeah, Willow's coming as well. Level 2 Bedlam, so this will probably be his death if he ends up getting caught out and doesn't have TP for the next 30 seconds, but doesn't seem like they realize.
Yeah, I think they were more so just happy that they got the BKB out of Fortnite Man.
Sure.
Just another charge down the gurgler. It was the full shiny 9-second one.
I feel like that's an Australianism that people are like, what the hell did he just say? Down the gurgler?
Oh, down the gurgler.
People just like have no idea what that's about. It's the sound that a drain makes, by the way, when water kind of goes down.
Look it up, guys. Get cultured.
Exactly. Say Australia has no culture. Think again.
Think again. We've got Googlers.
And the bubbler is a water fountain.
Yep.
Really complex terms.
When you think about it, why is it called a bubbler? It doesn't shoot out bubbles.
Yeah. I know.
See, like, usually a lot of it is very straightforward. All right, like you're starting to cut some waves here. Trying to, I was going to say another Australianism, cut some shapes.
Just.
Cutting shapes is dancing, guys.
Yes. Square dancing?
There's multiple different barbecues, Barbies.
Don't get me started on state-based beer names.
Got some state-based actions right now because this fight is starting to lift off, and they almost got the kill there onto a race. They did not have enough to be able to finish off the Lena.
Where's my slurk? That's what I want to know. It's nighttime. You got the Ags, and he's just a little bit too late to the party. Once again, he's... I think he avoided, actually, the creep wave, so they don't know that he's on the hunt for them. It's nighttime, so he's got that extra little bit of vision compared to what they have, and Morales is the one, and with the Orca, they should be able to get a pick off, but it's not the pick off that they were really wanting. They need to take out a race.
AA's here.
Okay. He's coming back though.
This fight going. They do have quite a lot of these stacks starting to build up here for Rinzik. See if he can start to get a few more of these auto attacks going, but there's so much damage that he has to try and deal with, and now he is just in such an awkward place. Try and get these body blocks going. And he just let Rinzik go for now. He does have to be careful. Another 30 seconds and he will have this Shadow Dance back off cooldown.
Monka.
Gonna try and leap away, run away from everybody here, still stuck inside of that Barracuda regeneration.
Cutting some shapes.
Walk away, cutting some shapes.
He's underneath the Observer Ward, so he briefly got the Barracuda revealed, but he's going to be able to get away. Once again, walking underneath a Watcher, but it's just one of those annoying things is, he's going to go back for it, and I'm not sure if that's the best option. He swapped in the Sentry Ward, maybe looking to get a little bit greedy, but again, just... It's information on where they are first.
Ooh. Very quick reactions there from Rinzik, being able to turn to the side and get that leap away. Could have potentially been really bad.
They've still got that outpost on Liga's control ever since Ike tried to take it previously.
Cursed for Ike. It's never again.
So, let's see.
Oh, Race. He's there waiting in Viz.
Ooh. Got the Arcane Rune as well.
Right,
they were able to yoink away the enemy Wisdom Rune, so that's a nice little bonus for Ike. And I think he's resigned himself to the fact that he's getting initiated on, so he's like, you know what? Screw you guys, Blade Mail. You will be taking damage to try and kill me.
These three definitely don't have the damage to kill this Lena.
You think?
Do they? Pomlo, you pulled him off the wall. Pomlo, you pulled him off the arena wall. Pomlo. Yeah. Anyways, Ike's dead.
Just.
You know what? Maybe the minus armor they did need with the reality.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it is 7 armor. But is 7 armor better than...
Bonk bonk. Yeah, I understand.
How much are the bonks?
160, right? Spear damage, 160.
Yeah, probably 160. So like 2 of those, that was 320 damage.
Hello?
Anyways, that's not neither here nor there. We're having another fight that's going to keep going.
See you later, Fortnite Man.
No, it's going to come out with the big old boat, and Fortnite Man, unfortunately, is going to cop a laser beam to the face. So a Race will continue his killing spree, unstoppable spree. And will continue to be a very, very scary hero in this game.
I still feel like they've still got that 100-0 potential with this SF. We just haven't seen it yet, you know? Like,
yeah.
Previously, we saw multiple combinations of SF's, CK range stun bouncing onto someone else, and then it was a 2-man Requiem. they've got all the tools to be able to do it. It's just a matter of wait, what's he already bought? Bought the plate mail first. Okay, just wanting a little bit of extra survivability for himself, I guess. Not wanting to go into the Veil first. Not feeling like he's going to feel safe enough to get out on the map. He's got Depth Shroud.
Rinsick doesn't have another leap for 7 seconds.
He's got Depth Shroud.
And he's get Communicate as well.
Nicely done by Ponlo.
Yeah, I'm gonna help a buddy out. He's over again.
Cutting the wave. Alright, they're being pretty clever, right? They're just dragging them around the map. Delaying things a little bit, trying to get into that next item for themselves. I was about to say trying to wait for nighttime, but you got another 4 minutes until you're able to get to that stage. Maybe Malik is the target. I mean, he's kind of a little far off onto his own, but they should get a rough idea of where they are, considering they just took back the outpost. Choosing instead of the Blade Mail to go Ghost Scepter. Not really going to serve them all that well against Lina, though, which I feel like that's the main person that's been killing Ike. That's been killing everyone, to be honest. There's a pretty free Roshan. Maybe?
They can try.
I mean, yeah, they see the mid lane being pushed out, so they know there's a smoke coming through.
Oh,
this is again one of those. It's one of those things where Rinsick really just needs to either want to. Oh, SF.
Oh, this is awkward. Really, really awkward now. Ponlo's the one that gets caught out. He gets pulled all the way back.
So does Willow.
He's trying to get himself a way out of this. He has actually survived the initial engagement. And now Ike will go in towards the back. He's just copped a Laguna Blade, an Ice Blast, and everything. For a Pulse 5. You're probably pretty happy. They are low cooldowns. Ponlo. It is. See ya. There was nowhere really for him to go. He had to hope and pray.
I mean, you've still got not all your ultimates, but only 10 seconds left on. Oh, look at that perfect positioning with the Slark, where you can see out, but they can't see in. Any BKBs pop?
This one. This is a massive arena of blood. Seeing how much damage they can do with the boots back, they finally get the Lina. But they lose so much for it as well. Now the SF has to try and walk away, but it's the back that comes in from you. And the Abadness is going to keep charging down on this Shadow Fiend. And Malik again with a double kill. Malik is really starting to show his stripes in this game. Really starting to show them in this series, I think. I really feel like Malik has woken up after that game number 1.
I mean, he's the most experienced by far, and for good reason. I'm surprised they didn't go into Roche, to be honest. It's very low. Oh. Did they not see it?
I don't know.
Maybe he just really wanted to give it to Lina, I guess? Eventually it's getting pinged out, but I feel like Kalmychata know how low it is, and you're going to have Slark up a good 30 seconds before Lina is, so do they make another go at this? I would.
Another crash. Arena coming up in about 30 seconds here, so they're going to see if they can try and take down Malik first. The Ice Blast will come down on the Fortnite Man. Ever so low.
He just got BKB.
For the Mars. Unfortunately for him, that is a hard task for them to try and take down the Conquer, because as you said, did just get the BKB, and that's a lot of damage that goes in onto the Slark. So Renix just going to try and see if he can seal this deal and get himself away from the pesky members of Liga. So it's a buyback coming in from Fortnite Man. This feels like it is almost all or nothing. If they lose out the Mars here, he's going to be so far behind. They just can't deal with the Conquer. There's just so much of this HP. There's so many of these ways for him to try and get away from it. Eventually, the Slark is able to stay on top of the Conquer and get that kill. Now they're going to look towards you here. They're another takedown, at least respect. Now, again, continuing to just build up more and more of these stacks for Rinsick. He wants to see if he can continue this fight, but with a race here as well, he has to be very, very careful. Goes into that Shadow Dancer as well, doing a lot of damage towards the Lina. This is where it starts getting scary. This is where your Slark just starts to take. He's unfortunately going to be losing a lot of his life, and they will still be able to survive from the Ice Blast. But no, they've been able to go back in here as well. Amorales wants to take down more of these cores coming in from the side.
Oh, the fight psychic headband.
That's huge. And again, looking to see if they can try and take down this Dark Willow, and they will eventually get it from Rinsick. And it is just a tough day at the office if you are either of these two teams. It feels like it is so back and forth and back and forth.
can't just walk into Roche. He's going to throw you. He's trying to right-click him as he's running, but not going to get that luxury. He was legit down at like 2,000 health, that Roshan, and not even worrying about pushing out that mid lane. He wants the free Aegis, and why not? You've got the shield rune. Get it while you can, while all 3 cores are dead. And this is a huge bounty that just was ignored for quite some time. And nice blast. And the Conquer's coming. Okay. Glimmer Cape will save him.
But very, very careful not to lose your life here if you are the Slarky Malarkey.
Should be fine now, although, Torrent. Surely you're able to finish this.
They're seeing if they can go in here. They pushed him out with the torrent as well. The Aegis got it. Respect. They absolutely stole that from the Aegis. Kalmychata. That is the worst possible scenario for them. Worst possible scenario for everybody involved. The fact that Respect gets it. But either way, it is a Roshan stolen nonetheless.
I've never heard AA say his Aegis voice line in my life. Is it just immortality? Okay.
Probably. That's what everybody's voice line is. It's just them saying immortality in their creepy voice.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to hear him say, like, what the hell is this? Like...
Isn't there one that says something? No, I think it's Anti-Mage buying a different item. I think it's
Blink Dagger. He goes, Blink Dagger? Really?
Yeah.
And Ricky getting an invis rune, he's like, he's like, oh, wait a minute.
What need have I for this? All right, you can see it goes oh so low, and then it's the tide, torrent, everything from Malik just pulls them outside of the pit. They just weren't able to complete it. Now we see Fortnite Man. And unfortunately, a screen that he's seen quite a lot of tonight, the respawn screen.
Back on the battle bus.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Back on the battle bus.
I mean, they're just throwing out Ice Blast for fun now, not even wanting them to connect onto creep waves. He's getting a little bit cocky now that he's got the Aegis, his respect, I think.
Give him an axe next, guys. Send it to him. Give him the chilling touch. Pharasma. Send it. I hear a Slark doing some Slark stuff.
He might be doing some dead stuff.
Find some supports, but the supports have found him, it seems like it. We're going to have a blow combination that's going to come out here from Malik. He's going to keep sending this fleet in. It's going to do as much damage as he can possibly try, but now they are just doing damage across Liga. They are just tearing apart so many of the members here. And it is just so hard for them to try and finish off this game, and now Liga looks like they are in a prime position to finish it off.
They've still got the Roshan's banner as well in respect. Not wanting to get too close. Yeah.
Unfortunately, it just seems like they don't really have an answer as we get towards the later stages of this game.
Alright, they'll be able to get a free kill. Trying to TP back with Morales.
Slark is dead. Just dead. They are at least trying to fight here. Fortnite Man is able to pick up the gem, and now with the TP away, it seems like Respect is more than okay with how this
he's
going to see a second fighter race.
He's got invis in 3 seconds.
There with his own BKB, and it is just going to look like a fight that is, again, disjointed from what we've seen from Kalmychata throughout the entirety of this series. And another Laguna Blade to the face of Fortnite Man. Puts him back into the fountain. The X-Mark comes off from Malik. They pull him all the way back. He does get into the Shadow Dance at least to try and see if he can win this fight. He's going to see more of these stacks. But
tidal wave.
It's all about the tidal wave. The anti-blast is going to be the cream on top. And there's only one buyback left. It's going to be on Ponlo. But unfortunately, the Kalmychata, it looks like they were not able to hold on for this series and close it out after a very dominant game number 1. They barnstormed home game number 2. The wheels fell off for both of these two teams. In game number 3, it was all Liga.
All Liga indeed. Even just trying to make the most out of this respawn. He's got a BKB freshly purchased, but he's not going to be able to do anything.
Ike unfortunately loses out in the race again. the MVP, it seems like, of this game. Just so dominant in that mid lane position. Frees up so much space for you, and Malik, solid as a rock in all of these utility positions that he needs to play. And GGs have been dropped. Kalmychata, unfortunately for them, will be dropping down to the lower bracket, which will be played on subsequent days. And Liga, they move forward here in this upper bracket to continue the regional qualifiers